Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's so good to have you here with me today. And if you're new here, welcome. So happy to have you. Today, we're just going to continue on what we were speaking about last time. Last time we were talking about forgiveness. Today, we're going to be talking about the damages of unforgiveness. And we all battle with some form of unforgiveness at one point or another. And really, it's how we deal with it that really counts, right? Are we deciding to be like dead hard and deciding that we are not forgiving and no matter what because someone did us wrong? Or are we saying, you know what, I'm letting this go because I don't want to carry this burden on my shoulders? So let's get into it. It's going to be intense. Okay, so unforgiveness never lets the wound heal. So if we have if we have unforgiveness, it could keep a wound open forever and ever because we're not letting it go. So therefore, it's like raw. Every time we think about it, it's raw. Unforgiveness will imprison you. It will keep you in the past. You're always captive to the situation because you're always holding on to it. So you're basically imprisoning yourself by holding on to unforgiveness. You go through life accumulating bad feelings. So you just sometimes become a negative person because you're harboring unforgiveness in your heart. And a lot of times you become a pessimist. So you always see the bad in every situation and in people too, because something happened and you were done wrong, and now you're deciding that, you know what, everyone's like that, and I'm not gonna let anybody in. Unforgiveness also can be an emotional burden. Like holding on to grudges can lead to increased stress and anxiety. So we could see wherein it could be harmful to our health. It could also cause severe depression, PTSD. High blood pressure is a big one because we have this on our mind over and over and over, like the wheels turning with it all the time. And it could lead to high blood pressure. That's a very common cause of harboring unforgiveness in our hearts. Um, Also, unforgiveness is usually a result of ungodly pride or like self-righteousness. So you feel that, okay, I am, I would never do anything like that. Or because we all make mistakes and things happen. So we should never say never. Like we always hear that, never say never. But it's real. Like never say never, because you never know when you'll be in a situation where you could have hurt someone and you're seeking forgiveness and it was not intentional. Because a lot of times people hurt us, it's not intentional, but a hurt is a hurt. A hurt is a hurt. So, signs of unforgiveness: bursts of anger. Sometimes you get really angry and we're wondering, like, people are like, why are you acting like that? Or you're being too extreme, or you're blowing something out of proportion, you know? Um, you're petty and impulsive. Petty patty. Petty patty. It could be the least little thing, and you're deciding that, okay, I'm gonna teach you a lesson and I'm gonna be petty about it, or I'm gonna answer in a sarcastic way, or, you know, and I'm gonna be impulsive in something. So those are signs of unforgiveness. Another sign is you're desperate for the person to understand how you feel. And a lot of times we're explaining and we want the person to know how they've hurt us or how we feel, but it just seems that we cannot get our point across no matter how hard we try. And we explain, and it's like they're just not getting it. And we just want them to understand and see our point of view and our perspective. And a lot of times that does not happen. What do we do in that situation? Right? But we try, we try, we try. Are you still going to hold on to the situation because the person is not seeing your viewpoint? You're not taking responsibility for your feelings. So you're not tapping into how you feel, or coming to terms with the way that you feel. And that could be a sign of unforgiveness. Like you might say, "Oh, I'm not mad about it," or "It didn't make me sad," but you know, deep down, it made you so sad. But sadness can sometimes come out in anger. So you're not owning the emotion that you're feeling. Um, a big sign of unforgiveness, and oh my gosh, this is something that um, I had to deal with, and I'm like, wow, sometimes you don't even realize you're keeping a list of offenses. Someone did something wrong to you. Maybe they did it months ago, and then they did something a few weeks ago, and then something happened today. And you're like, you did this, you did this, you did this, and you could like date stamp what they did and how it made you feel. So you're tracking everything that they did. And that is a big sign of unforgiveness. Like a big sign of unforgiveness. Oh my gosh. Lord help me. Um, Sometimes unforgiveness will come out in you hating yourself. Um, you're not happy with you because of um, not forgiving someone, or sometimes it's not forgiving you because sometimes we have to start with ourselves, right? You replay the event over and over in your head. You have not let go. It's still there. That's a big sign of unforgiveness. And at one point, I found myself doing that. Like, I'm like, something happened, and I'm replaying the events over in my head. And when you replay the events over in your head, it's painful. So you're like rehashing, and then you're feeling the hurt. It's like, why am I trying to make myself suffer? Does it bring me extra joy to suffer because it makes me feel good that I'm suffering? I don't know. I don't know. You gossip over about the person that did you wrong. Um, you feel entitled. And this is a big one. You refuse to confide in others. So because someone did something to you, you just painted everyone with the same brush. You're like, um, I'm not gonna trust anyone, and I'm not even gonna tell any of my business to anyone. You told someone something, you confided in them, and they told someone else, and then your business is all over the place. So now you're like, everyone is the same. I'm not gonna let this happen to me again. It's not the way to go. Not the way to go, my friend. It's hard. Don't get me wrong. It is hard. It is hard. It is not easy. It is not easy. So, how forgiving are you? Are you the type of person that easily forgives and let things go? Or are you the type of person that holds onto things? Um, and I thought that, I'm pretty forgiving. But then in like reading and doing some research, and also like reading like the signs of unforgiveness, and realizing that, Shanae, you do hold on to some things that you should let go because it's unhealthy. And is that the person you want to be? So I have, I'm speaking to you and I'm also speaking to myself because there's things that I need to work on when it comes to like forgiving and harboring unforgiveness, right? But we all need to know who we want to be and how we want to be. And it's a daily process. It's not something that you're just deciding today that I'm gonna be like this. It's something that you work on daily. Like you work on yourself daily. So, forgiveness is a lifelong process, just like love. Forgiveness is a decision you make each day. So, each day you start fresh. Because maybe today you weren't having a good day, but tomorrow is a new day and you start fresh. Today you might have dealt with situations really bad. You might even said something that you weren't supposed to say because you're so angry because of a past event. But tomorrow's a new day and you can start over. We're given new days. Um, a healing quote. Healing also means taking an honest look at the role you play in your own suffering. Remember, I said like sometimes we replay things in our head over and over again, and it causes us a repeat pain because I don't know what it is with us humans. Like sometimes we inflict pain on ourselves without even knowing. And that's so unhealthy. That's so unhealthy for us. Forgive Dr. Martin Luther King said, "Forgiveness is not an occasional act. It's a constant attitude." So, forgiveness is something that we have to work on daily, minutes, hourly, always, always. Let's see, what does the Bible say about forgiveness? Matthew 8, Matthew 18, sorry, verse 15 to 17, and I'll read the New Living Translation. It says, "If another believer sins against you, go privately and point out the offense. If the other person listens and confess it, you have won that person back. But if you are unsuccessful, take one or two others with you and go back again, so that everything you say may be confirmed by two or three witnesses. If the person still refuses to listen, take your case to the church. Then, if he or she won't accept the church's decision, treat that person as a pagan or a corrupt tax collector." Meaning, you asked for forgiveness from this person. They said, you went to them in private. They said no. You brought somebody with you, could be a friend or whomever. You brought someone with you as a witness and said, I'm asking you to forgive me. They said, no, I'm not forgiving you. And then, if you're a member of a church, you say, okay, I'm going to go to the pastor. You go to the pastor, you bring the person to the pastor, and you're saying that, okay, pastor, we have our differences, and this is the situation. I went and I'm asking for forgiveness, and he or she refuses. I need you to assist or be a mediator of some sort. The person still says no, they're not forgiving because they're too hurt or whatever. The Bible is saying that, well, there's nothing you can do. And there's these situations in real life. Like, there's nothing you can do. If somebody refuses to forgive you, there's nothing you could do. You could forgive yourself and just move on. The church is basically saying, like, you just have to, the Bible is saying that you just have to leave that person to their own demise. They said they're not forgiving you. You did all that you could, and you just have to move on. Because sometimes people refuse to forgive, and we're still on their case. As I said before, trying to get them to see your point. It's pointless. It is pointless. We're not going to gain anything out of that, and it is pointless. It's not doing us any good. No good at all. Um, a tip. If you're a person that feels like, I have some issues of unforgiveness, and whether it's one or more individuals that have hurt you, and you feel like, I just have not been able to get over this, a tip that I am going to use, and I'm suggesting that you use as well, because we know this journey is not easy. It's hard, but we have this one life to live, and how are we going to live it? Write a letter to the offender that you do not intend to send. This is the crucial part. You're writing the letter for you. You don't intend to send it to the person. Do not send it to the person. After you wrote everything out in that letter, everything that has offended you, everything that has hurt you, let it all out on that paper. Let it all out. Whether if you decide to write by hand or you choose to type it in your phone or whatever, get it out, get it down. And when you let everything out, destroy it. So destroy the contents, and when you destroy the letter, it's supposed to be freeing. And when you destroy it, let go everything that you wrote down in that letter. And that should help you to even start the journey of forgiving and letting go of unforgiveness and freeing yourself, because who wants that? When you're unforgiven, it ages you. You don't want to look older than your age. Never. 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 So those are my tips. And, as I said, it's something that I'm going to do for me too. And it's a journey. Just don't ever forget that it's a journey. If something comes back up in your head and you feel like, I thought I was working on forgiving, it's okay, because it's a lifelong process. So let's do our best to be our best selves and do the things that make us into our best selves. And let's just be great. Each day, let's strive for greatness, okay? So thank you so much for listening and being here with me. And I want to hear what your tips are, and how do you deal with unforgiveness, and going forward, is there a tip that you can give to me other than that writing down the letter? Let me know. I want to hear your thoughts, and let me know if you wrote the letter and if it helped you to be lighter or free in the process. So thank you once again. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day. Bye. See you next time.